Good morning, class. Today we are going to learn about the different ways of heat transfer. The three ways we are going to discuss today include convection, conduction, and radiation. Conduction is the first type of transfer we are going to discuss, and that is the transfer of heat between substances in direct contact with each other. The better the conductor, the more rapidly heat will transfer. Conductors. Let's take a moment as a class to discuss the different types of conductors you would think would be good and which ones you would be poor. Let's talk about copper, steel, wood, air, iron, styrofoam, paper, and steel. Discuss this amongst yourselves for a second and we'll talk about it in a minute. Good conductors. I hope you all suggested that steel, silver, iron, and copper are good conductors. Most of these have some form of metal in them, which is a very good conductor of heat. The next type of heat transfer is convection. Convection is the up and down movement of gases and liquids by heat transfer. A common example of this would be considering a boiling pot of water on a stove. You can see that the fire, the flame, and the water boiling, that's all conducted by convection, the movement of gases and liquids by heat transfer. As the gas or liquid is heated, it warms, expands, and then rises because it is less dense. When the gas or liquid cools, it becomes denser and falls. This is very similar to how a cloud forms. A cloud forms by air rising, and as it rises, it expands and cools to form a cloud. This creates a convection current. Convection is the primary method by which heat moves through gases and liquids. We'll discuss this topic a little bit more in class later this week. Also, as a gas or liquid is heated, it expands, warms, and it becomes less dense. Now, since we just discussed this, can you think of other examples of convection? Take a moment to discuss amongst yourselves what suggestions you might make. Other examples we would consider would be warmer water at the surface of a lake or a swimming pool. A hot air balloon is a good example of convection. Also wind currents, and lower floors of a building being cooler than the top floor. The third type of heat transfer is called radiation. Now, radiation occurs when electromagnetic waves travel through space. When electromagnetic waves come in contact with an object, the wave transfers the heat to the object. The electromagnetic waves travel through empty space. Can we think of other examples of radiation? Take a moment again to discuss this amongst yourselves. Examples of radiation might include a campfire, a microwave oven, or a light bulb. And that's all for today's lesson. We'll be doing a lab later this week based on the three types of heat transfers. So we'll work on your homework assignment now in class.